done over the past 2 days is we've had 20 companies present pitches. They had only 5 minutes to our judges. So we're going to have some of the winners of those pitches come out and show all of you what they've been doing. And it's been really exciting. And these were, we have many, many companies demoing, and we had about 20 companies pitch. But first, we wanted to give you a little amuse-bouche, a little appetizer, to give you perhaps a better sense of what we do at Singularity University. So I'm going to bring up one of our alumni who's part of a team that came out of our 2013 Graduate Studies program. And this is a team that since the program ended in August of 2013, and this is a team that's distributed globally, and in a year has done amazing things. They're really focused on disrupting cancer detection, and you're going to, they just were on stage last month at TED Global. And so one of the things that's really interesting is this team did not know each other before this program started. So we wanted for you to have a sense of some of the work and how fast these things can go from these ideas, these big moonshot ideas that you've been hearing about, to seeing what some of these companies do. So are you ready? Almost. So I looked, and their TED Global presentation, they already have over 500,000 views of this presentation, again, just from the recent TED Global. All right, I think we're ready. So, without further ado, this is Alejandro Toxil from Miraculous.
Thank you. So how do I pass? So let me start with 2 facts. 1 out of 3 people sitting in this audience will be diagnosed with some type of cancer. 1 out of 4 will die because of it. The World Health Organization has stated that the global battle against cancer won't be won with treatment alone, but with prevention and early detection. Based on recent scientific discoveries, we believe we have found an accurate approach to detect for many types of cancers at the early stages at a dramatically low cost. We do it by detecting small molecules that circulate freely in our blood and are perhaps the most promising biomarker, microRNAs. So microRNAs are small molecules that regulate gene expression. Unlike DNA, which is mainly fixed, microRNAs varies depending on internal and external conditions at any given time. As you know, no 2 cancers are the same, but at the microRNA level, there are patterns. Several studies have shown that our normal microRNA expression levels varies and create unique patterns for each specific type of cancer, showing us its stage and whether it's responding to treatment, making microRNA a highly sensitive diagnostic, prognostic, and predictive biomarker. However, the problem today is that in order to detect microRNAs, you will need large budget for reagents, expensive lab machinery, well-equipped labs, and highly skilled scientists. So we have tackled each of these problems and have come up with an accurate, affordable, operator-independent, easy-to-use microRNA detection platform. And this is one of the very first time that we're showing it in public. So imagine when you go to the doctor and you do your next standard blood test, a technician extracts the total RNA and puts it in a 96-well plate like this one. Each well of this plate has a biochemistry that is looking for a specific microRNA, acting like a trap when the microRNA is present in the sample. Whenever the trap closes, a green line will shine. To run the reaction, you put the assay in a device like this one. And to document it, you put your smartphone on top of it. A smartphone is an integrated computer, and it's also a camera, good enough for our purpose. The smartphone has an app, and it's taking pictures. Whenever the reaction finishes, pictures will be sent to the cloud for data analysis and interpretation. The whole process lasts 60 minutes. So because of time constraints, the sample I put inside is one where the reaction has already happened. This chart is showing us which microRNAs are present in the sample, and how they reacted over time. Then we correlate this information with scientific published literature. And this is how metastatic breast cancer looks like. We've just found metastatic breast cancer. A very important aspect of this approach is the gathering and mining of the data in the cloud, so we can have real-time results and perform analytics with other contextual information. This platform is a working prototype that we designed, developed, and tested in Germany and Mexico. It uses state-of-the-art molecular biology, open hardware, smartphones, and 3D printing to try to tackle one of humanity's toughest challenges. As we believe cancer detection should be democratized, this entire solution costs at least 50 times less than any other available method. We are decentralizing the lab while centralizing the data. And because of its affordability, easiness to use, no need for highly specialized scientists, nor well-equipped labs, we believe we are the only ones that can actually target the long tail. And look at the numbers. 70% of cancer deaths worldwide today are occurring in the developing world. 80% of diabetes deaths worldwide today are occurring in the developing world. And we don't see Miraculous as a one-off test, but as a surveillance platform that is constantly monitoring what is happening inside our body. We are now raising funds to clinically validate our platform with 4 different diseases and have a much more robust solution to go through regulations. We are a young, multinational, multidisciplinary team committed to make cancer detection and the prediction of drug response at a molecular level easier, smarter, and more affordable than ever before. Thank you.
So I'm going to ask the judges for the MEDy Awards to come up and join me on stage. While that's happening, I can take one quick question for Alejandro about Miraculous, if anybody has a burning question. Shout it out. OK. If not, then we'll just proceed. And yeah, I think we'll go right there. So these wonderful folks helped out tremendously with our judging. And I want to just introduce them to you. We had David Height from Bridge 37, Dorothea Coe from Baxter, and Garrett Vigantis from Jump Capital. And they had a really tough job going through a lot of different really impressive startups. And I've asked David to take just a couple seconds to sort of recap and give you all a sense of their impression of the startups they saw.
Thanks, Sandy. Thanks, everybody, for being here. As Sandy mentioned, we saw 20 incredible companies. There was even more than that represented in the showcase demo room. Every one of these companies brings a representative that presented to us and really displayed the passion and somehow a personal story that helped to tell why they were presenting the product, the service that they had their entrepreneurial vision around. It was really, really an honor, I think, for all of the judges to be able to be exposed to so many of these companies. Really difficult for us to make a selection on these awards for the MEDy. And we really would like to acknowledge all of the companies that participated and give all of them a round of applause before we get to the actual awards. Thanks to all the companies that participated.
Thanks very much. OK, so one of the things that I want you to understand is that these companies that you're going to see right now found out they were going to be on stage about maybe 2 hours ago. OK? So they're really going to be operating real time. They have a speaker clock. I'm saying this to all of you presenters here. They're going to try to keep it to 4 minutes. And we have 4 awards. The first award is for our One to Watch category. So this is an early, really interesting, high-potential company. And to represent our winner, we have David Tallenfeld. Please come up on stage. David is from BioExcel in Arizona, and he's representing the winner, Neuro Recovery Technologies. David.
Thank you very much. So I'm really excited to be here, enjoying the event. I work with BioExcel. We are a little bit of a strange animal, a nonprofit investor incubator of really compelling medical technologies. So I have, I think, the best job in the world because I get to see all of this radical, wild, sci-fi stuff come across the table, and then I get to be a part of realizing it on a daily basis and doing it in a way that is performing better than Kauffman Foundation, Angel Investor Performance Project averages by a wide margin. So it's really cool that we're proving that changing and saving lives is actually the most lucrative business you could be in. And I couldn't be prouder to have an opportunity to tell you about any project I've ever worked on than I am now to tell you about Neuro Recovery Technologies. Dr. Nick Terrafranca unfortunately couldn't be here with us tonight. He's extremely busy working hard to get this technology in the hands of patients who need it. Thank you very much, judges, for this opportunity to accept the award on his behalf. A lot of what we've been hearing about over the course of the conference has had to do with machine learning, networks, human-machine interfaces. Well, we have a really radical human-machine interface to tell you about. So in the United States today, about 8 million people suffer from some form of paralysis with a varying degree of severity. And I think approximately 12 to 15,000 new traumatic spinal cord injuries are occurring annually, typically among people who are still very much in the prime of their lives. Mid to late 30s, I believe, is the average age. Stroke also can be a cause of paralysis. And it's not just the loss of the ability to walk in the case of paraplegia or total loss of motor control in the case of quadriplegia. It's also reproductive and digestive function. So, I mean, imagine if you couldn't, ever make love to your spouse again, or you had to use a colostomy system for the rest of your life, and all the, unpleasantness and potential embarrassment that might be associated with that. And it's a huge cost, by the way. Lifetime cost. So if you're injured in your late 30s and you have to have medical assistance now for the rest of your life, that's an immense cost. Available treatments are fairly limited. So Neuro Recovery Technologies has developed both an external and an internal neurostimulator system. We think we can help them get the external system in the hands of patients in as little as 2 years. It has already been tested in 20 patients. Every patient it's been tested with has had favorable results. And I want to show you a video with some of those favorable results. It's really powerful, really moving.
There are days when dreams that once seemed out of reach at long last are within our grasp. More than 1 million Americans are living with spinal cord injuries in this country. And when we learned of one young man nicknamed Superman, Dr. Besser went to find out why.
What you're witnessing is groundbreaking. Rob Summers making history by standing up. To understand just how incredible this moment is, you have to go back to a summer night in 2006 when Rob, a baseball player nicknamed Superman, met tragedy.
I was playing the best I ever had and was hit by a car in a hit and run while I was standing in my driveway. Couldn't move my arms. I tried to yell and nothing would come out.
Rob was paralyzed from the chest down, told he would never walk again. Soon after, Rob learned of groundbreaking research, a first in the treatment of spinal cord injuries. Doctors implanted a tiny stimulator in his spinal cord, below the area that was damaged. When the stimulator is turned on, it energizes his damaged nerves, allowing him to move parts of his body that were paralyzed. So every day now, Rob spends hours training, willing his body to move.
So we set out a number of goals, both the doctors did and the scientists did, and myself. And one of their goals was to stand in about 3 years is what they had planned on. Well, I ended up standing on the third day, and I was able to show them voluntary movement in 7 months after surgery.
And now for Rob, it's one small step at a time. Dr. Richard Besser, ABC News.
So the Christopher Reeve Foundation is now raising $15 million to continue the clinical approvals process, and BioXcel is supporting neurorecovery in raising a much more modest $300,000 in order to get the technology in its first phase of commercialization in the hands of patients. And you can help. We have a Facebook page. It is called Revive Campaign. We're calling it Revive. This holiday season, BioXcel and makerstaker.com put research in motion with Revive. So please like our page and share, or give me your business card on the way out, and I'll send you an email. Thank you very much. Oh.
No. Here you go. One to watch.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So as our next presenter comes up on the stage, recipient of our Convergence Award, Converging Technologies, and that is Lou Turnquist with Orpix. Here you go.
Thanks, Sandy. What am I doing to the things? Hi, so Orpix is a early stage company out of Canada, a medical device company that is actually, the name of the company is derived as an anagram for the word proxy. You'll see hopefully in a minute or two why that name makes sense. I'm an investor and an advisor of the company that's recently joined on as president in the last couple of months because I'm so excited about the company and its potential. So the opportunity here is really, there it is a result of the explosion that we've seen in wearable technologies. I think we're all aware, we've seen certainly the news articles and where that's come from, the increased popularity, the attention that they're getting. The problem with them is that they generate generally what's referred to as so what data. This is data that has very little meaningful impact to people's lives or to their behavior in the long term. And in fact, the technology itself is not all that complicated. The average activity monitor that you wear on your wrist today is essentially the same technology that was available for free in the bottom of a special K-box back in the 1990s. So what we're doing is we're taking the advent of wearable technology and applying it in a more meaningful way toward the first problem that we're addressing, is that of diabetic peripheral neuropathy. So I think we're all well aware that the issue of diabetes is increasing over time. It's affecting about a third of Americans today. Almost 9% of the American population is already diabetic, and a further 25% is pre-diabetic. Within that diabetic population, about a quarter of them will eventually lose the sensation in their feet. Due to the nerve damage as a result of the disease, they lose that sensation in their foot, and the problem that creates for them is without the sensation of pain inside their shoe, they eventually wear a hole in their foot the same way you would a sock. That ulceration occurs and then reoccurs and eventually results in an amputation. Today in the world, there's still a limb lost to a landmine every 30 minutes, but a limb is lost to diabetes every 30 seconds in the world. So it's a big problem that we're addressing, and also it's a big problem economically. As you can see from the slide there, it's a $14 billion cost to the healthcare system. It's the leading cause of hospitalization due to diabetes. And it's something that we think we have a preventative treatment to try and address. And that is a mobile plantar pressure system. It's a product called the Surasense RX that you wear inside your shoe. It's actually composed of a few parts. You can see there's an insert that's sized, it's worn in your shoe. It attaches to the electronics and the wireless transmitter that's attached to the laces, as you can see in that photograph there. That's in an effort to maintain the optimal amount of comfort that we can in the shoe. If I had one to show you on stage here, it's about a millimeter, less than a millimeter actually in thickness. Highly flexible, durable, lasts a year, and is attached then to an alerting device, in this case a smartwatch that we provide with the system, or it could be a smartphone app. That tells the patient when they've had a dangerous amount of pressure on the bottom of their foot for an extensive period of time, alerts them through a vibration or a beep, and then they move they're provided instructions rather to move their feet to take action to alleviate that pressure and eliminate the ulceration effect. In the pilot study that we ran last year at the Southern Arizona Limb Salvage Alliance out of the University of Arizona's medical school, we found that there was a 100% elimination of the ulceration effect during the period of that pilot, and a return to the normal levels of ulceration after it was all done. All of this allows for the uploading of that data to the cloud, which the patient and the practitioner can monitor on a regular basis, both in terms of compliance. The two gauges on the left-hand side of that dashboard are showing compliance levels, as well as to where the problem effects are for the foot over time. The effect we believe conservatively to be almost a $1.5 billion positive effect annually as a result of the wearing of these devices, strictly within that high-risk population, which is a subset of those with DPN, and only assuming a 50% effect in terms of the elimination of ulcers. Over time, the company grows, we start to address other pathologies. We can do gait and balance retraining. There's opportunities, as we're often asked, eventually in the athletic space. But once we've established that plantar pressure platform on the base of the shoe, we can capture the world. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you. And here is your award. Good job. Thank you. All right.
Very much.
So I think you can start to get a sense of these judges had a hard time. So next up, we have our winner of the Most Disruptive Award, Megan Conroy with Capture Proof. Megan. There you go.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Happy Veterans Day. I almost said Valentine's Day. So we've been fortunate enough to have already witnessed a revolution. We've witnessed a communication revolution. In 5 short years, Vatican City went from the first picture to the latter. Each of those white lights are a photo or a video being taken in order to communicate a story. Capture Proof is bringing this revolution to healthcare. While I was managing clinical trials and photography in those clinical trials in 2008, I realized that this data, if made meaningful, could be amazing. When you have a data set that looks like this, it's easy to identify a patient, but we had hundreds of patients that created thousands of photos. In order to recognize patterns, it's really hard here. Capture Proof makes this possible. Capture Proof is putting the evidence into evidence-based medicine, making it possible for you to do what you learned at 5 years old was important, to show and tell. Capture Proof is used for patient communication and clinician communication. It's making more accurate triage and more accurate monitoring possible from your pocket, with massive cost and time savings. You all know that payment models are changing. We're going from fee-for-service to bundled medicine. That follow-up care is the care that is squishy. And this is where Capture Proof allows for physicians to stay on top of their patients without actually having to have them come into the office. We're working with Kaiser Permanente and very honored to be doing so. There we're looking at total knee replacement follow-up and reducing in-person visits by 70%. Saving clinicians 66% of their time, and the patients 80%. Reducing pre-appointment exams for children who are being referred to the pediatric neurologist by 78%. You want to rule out a seizure? All of the verbal communication sounds very similar, but a video makes it clear. Have the ability to see an incision? Tell the patient not to go to the ER. Assure them everything is fine. Cutting ER visits post-operatively in half. And 90% of patients who used Capture Proof to monitor their migraines, something I never expected to have happen, said that it made them feel as though they were more in control of their health. 90% of them. We believe that Capture Proof is going in the future to be able to show you when a patient is going off the rails and when delta red is too much, allowing the doctor to call the patient and get them back on. We were honored to be given an award from the American Heart Association, another thing I never expected for Capture Proof, and I'm going to let Dr. Prashant Kaul tell you how he's using the product.
As an interventional cardiologist, I think it's absolutely crucial for me to be able to effectively communicate Now I can instantly and safely share image results with referring physicians who now don't need to wait for a CD to reach them or a phone call describing the results. They can be rounding on their patients in the hospital, sitting at home, or even be at their son's soccer game and have an instant visual update of the angiographic results. Also, the complexity of the procedures that we perform and their interpretation is such that the ability to review and compare with previous images is also essential. The capture-proof user interface allows me to arrange images chronologically and instantly compare them.
These are some of our very first early users. Over the past year, capture-proof has gone from the pleasure of working with these institutions to the great honor of working with these institutions. We are the entire hospital system. We have doctors across the hospital sharing with other specialties. In fact, we have 28 subspecialties that are using photo and video to more accurately monitor their patients and give them better care. HIPAA is important. Our privacy is important. It is not replaceable. You can't give $1 for $1 with your privacy. For each photo that doctors are walking around on their smartphone, it's $50,000. And more than half of HHS fines are due to lost hardware with unencrypted data on them. And we all know the cell phone is so easy to lose. Capture-Proof is HIPAA compliant and has done all of what it takes in order to make sure that your patient's privacy is kept. We would love to work with all of you, your institutions, your physicians, help you monitor your health. If you'd like to sign up for a free trial, you can do so at captureproof.com. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. So much. Usually.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Good job.
Thanks, guys.
All right, we have one more award presentation, and I'd like to bring up Brooke Wurst with Harbor Biometrics. Brooke. Brooke is our outstanding pitch winner. Brooke, take it away.
Thank you very much. After a wonderful couple of days, I want everyone to imagine suffering a life-threatening allergic reaction. Your throat's closing before the paramedics get there, and you lose consciousness before you can tell them that you're also on beta blockers for a heart arrhythmia. And as many of you know, those beta blockers will actually antagonize the effects of the EpiPen they're about to give you to attempt to save your life. By the time the medics realize that you're going to need almost twice as much Epi and glucagon, it's too late. You suffocate. But now imagine as soon as those medics arrive, or you roll into the ED, they scan your fingerprint into an app on their mobile device, and within a few seconds they know who you are, what meds you're on right now, your acute history, your conditions. They can send at the same time an alert out to your emergency contacts, send this information on to the ED. We don't actually have to imagine this is what we're working on right now. Now, while this sounds like a fringe case, it actually happened to me in 1999, and I'm not alone. Each year, there are 50 million EMS calls and 130 million ER visits. 3/4 of these are potentially life-threatening, and between a third and almost half of patients can't communicate that kind of life-saving information to first responders and emergency medical personnel. That lack of information leads to treatment errors, loss of life, and billions of dollars in avoidable care costs. First ID bridges that gap by enabling emergency medical personnel to access that information simply by scanning the finger into that secure app. This is not connected to an EHR. This is a private vital health information registry based on a core mobile identification platform that my previous company developed and has been using around the world, especially in hospital systems across South Africa. I can tell you more about that afterwards. Now, the solution is pretty simple. It's cloud-based, mobile device-based, nothing magic. What is magic is how much control people have in the process. Subscribers enroll online. They will enter their basic biographical information. They'll enter their name, their emergency contacts, their acute history, their allergies. Thank you very much. But what's most important is what they're not entering, and that's their current medication. Through our proprietary pipes with the national aggregator of pretty much every electronically transmitted script, we are ensuring that the current medication is being piped down in real time during that emergency situation. At that moment of enrollment, it'll then prompt you to go to the nearest scan point based on your zip code. They're at schools, fire stations, local pharmacies, in senior residential facilities. We want to make it easy for people to onboard. But it's just as easy for first responders and emergency medical personnel to use it. They simply arrive on scene, open up that app, scan the finger, and boom. No digging through wallets for information that may or may not be there, looking for bracelets that may or may not have complete information. Now, this is not just a good idea, it's actually a good business opportunity, and it's really the current market that tells us so. Existing emergency health alert systems represent a $900 million a year business. It's expected to grow to $1.5 billion over the next 5 years, but First ID vastly expands that opportunity by really changing the definition, the reach, the scope of what this technology means, and we're doing it for less than 90% less than the existing lower functioning solutions out there. The business model is pretty straightforward. It's an annual subscription. We will be monetizing this either through the population health managers, insurance companies, et cetera, who will either be productizing this within their offerings or passing on the costs at a couple of dollars a month to the patients. For people not covered by those entities, there's still I can just subscribe by myself and pay a low annual fee. We'll be onboarding and acquiring customers through key partners in the community, affinity organizations, relationships such as that. Really want to drive our partnerships, which are very strong at this point and expected to grow stronger, to drive people to enroll. Our current strategic partnerships range from Microsoft's Health Vault to Remote Harbor to municipalities, pharmacies, health advocacy organizations, ACOs, hospitals, and of course the big bad payers. We're excited to pilot this beginning of next year up in the Bay Area. These guys are the leaders in emergency care technology and adoption, and they actually asked us if they could pilot this. We were very excited and excited to share those findings as we go along. We'll be working with their leaders to help define their metrics of success. So as we scale into 40 major metros in North America over the next few years, we can really learn and adapt accordingly. The barriers to entry are pretty straightforward. We have IP protecting or pending a lot of the proprietary pipes and biometric platforms, the market positions of our strategic partners, and really the first-to-market position, which is enabling never-before-possible linkages amongst patients, providers, payers, all the big Ps. Now, of course, our biggest barrier to entry is our team. We really have an unfair strategic advantage because we've done this before. As I mentioned before, our previous company has already launched mobile biometric-based identification platforms in health systems around the world, and we're looking forward to bringing that back home. A lot less travel, still a lot of schlepping. We are currently just beginning to sprint for a quick seed round so we can bring the pilot out. We're looking for $750,000. Happy to have meetings out on the side afterwards if anyone's interested. But we're really looking to get this done quickly because other organizations are champing at the bit to bring this on board in their regions. I look forward to answering any other questions that you have offline, but thank you so much for your time, and thank you to the judges for your appreciation of what we're trying to do here. Thank you.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Here is your award.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Thanks, David. Thanks.
Okay, so hopefully you will maybe think about demoing your own startup, and maybe your startup can be on stage next time. And so thank you for your attention for the MEDy Award presentations. Judges, thank you again for your excellent work and thoughtful deliberations. And for now, we have Dr. Kraft, who has something up his sleeve.
For just one more thing. Thanks again to the amazing MEDy Award judges, participants. All of this, particularly this whole event, took a little bit of magic. So before we go out to our magical beach party, I want to bring up our resident magician for something short, sweet, and amazing. And you guys are part of the volunteers. So little taste before we go make some magic tonight.
You
Robert
never
Strong.
know what Daniel's up to.
Good evening, everyone. I've been watching, and I've been figuring out what exponential medicine is. It's not just one person. It's actually a lot of different people. I see there's venture capitalists, there's software engineers, hardware engineers, innovators, and of course, the medicine people. I'd like to do something amazing, but I'd like to borrow an iPhone. Anybody on the stage have an iPhone? You all look so scared. This is great. Hello, Dorothea. Yes, unlock your iPhone and hand it to me. What do you do for a living, Dorothea? You work, so pharmaceutical?
Sort of.
Sort of. You're clearly not in security because you just handed a random stranger an unlocked iPhone. In your calculator, the number is 4.2569. May I zero that out?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Do you need to remember that? No? I'm going to ask you on the end, sir, who's white-knuckling it on his jeans. I'd like to get the month and day you were born, but do not say it out loud. Okay, I'd like you to type it into Dorothea's calculator. I will hold it, but I will not look at the number you type in. The month and day. Has it been typed in? After you've done that, I want you to hit the X, the multiply. Okay. Yes. The next person, what is your name?
David.
David, I'd like you to type in your shoe size. If there's a point in it, it's okay. Hit the X or the multiply after that. Or did you already hit the equals?
No, I didn't hit that.
Okay. And then Dorothea, would you take the phone from me? Would you please put in the last 4 digits of your social security number? Let me know when you've done that. My hands are empty, but I do have a prediction. The prediction is right here, and it's been there since before the show started. Dorothea, have you put in the number?
Yep.
Have you hit equals?
Not yet.
Let me know when you've done that.
All right.
I want you to look at the number, and I'd like you to say the very first number that you see.
6.
Say it louder.
6. 6.
Keep going.
6, 5, 2, 4, 4, 2. No way.
A little demonstration of all working together for exponential growth.
Wonderful.
I've got one more trick up my sleeve, and then we're all going to go to dinner. It's a quick one. It's with this. I'm going to get a random 2-digit from the audience, and this is how I'm going to do it. Well, actually, we'll use you up here. Since you're up here,
Yes.
Would you give me a number from 0 to 9 and say it out loud?
7.
7, excellent choice. Sir in the middle, would you give me another number from 0 to 9 and say it out loud?
3.
So we have 7 and 3. Dorothea, would you like me to use the number 73 or 37, your choice?
73.
73, a random 2-digit number. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll take 16 seconds of your time. I will fill this grid with 16 numbers that are not random. Then I will show you something amazing. That helps. 13 plus 10 plus 7 plus 43 adds up to your number 73. 8 plus 42, as we heard earlier, the meaning of life and everything according to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. 14 plus 9 adds up to your number 73. 41 plus 5 plus 12 plus 15 adds up to your number 73. 11 plus 16 plus 40 plus 6 adds up to your number 73. But this has some of the greatest minds, and as I found, some of the nicest minds in the world. And you guys are expecting more, and everything is better with a bell. Check this out. That was horizontal. Vertical. 13 plus 8 is 21, plus 11 is 32, plus 41 is your number 73. 10 plus 42 is 52, plus 5 is 57, plus 16 is your number 73. 21, 33 plus 40 is your number 73, and those add up to? 73. But wait.
Woo!
But wait. There's more. Do you see it? Yes, diagonally it adds up to your number 73. The other diagonal adds up to your number 73. We're going to grow this exponentially. Check this out. The 4 corners, if you do the math, they add up to your number 73. The inside 4 add up to 73. These 4 up to 73. These up to 73. 73, 73, 73, 73. You're doing the math, you just trust me. There's more. These 2 plus these 2 add up to, I'm sorry, these 2 plus these 2 up to 73. 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 Ladies and gentlemen, there are exactly 73 different ways that these numbers add up to 73. But one great way to change the world and disrupt it, it's here with all these great minds, exponential medicine. My name's Robert Strong. Enjoy dinner, everyone.